Thank you for visiting our channel. Please like, share and subscribe for more exciting food videos. Lobster mac and cheese, the ultimate comfort food with a gourmet twist. Creamy, cheesy, and loaded with tender lobster, lobster mac and cheese is comfort food done right. It combines the familiar warmth of macaroni and cheese with the indulgent flavor of fresh seafood. This fusion dish has become a favorite for good reason. It's rich, satisfying, and just fancy enough to impress. Perfectly baked with a crisp, golden topping, it's a meal that feels both nostalgic and luxurious. If you're craving something special yet approachable, this is the dish for you. History of mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is more than just a dish. It's a warm hug on a plate, steeped in history and tradition. To truly understand its transformation into a gourmet classic, let's look at where it all began and how it evolved over time. Origins and early recipes. Mac and cheese has roots that trace back centuries. While often thought of as a comfort food from modern times, its story begins in Europe during the medieval period. The earliest known recipe comes from a 13th century Italian cookbook called Liber di Cocina, where boiled pasta was layered with grated cheese and butter. Sound familiar? It was a simple dish, yet wildly satisfying. By the 18th century, the concept of pasta with melted cheese was embraced by France and England. In fact, Thomas Jefferson is credited with popularizing it in America. After tasting it during a trip to France, he brought the recipe and a pasta-making machine back home. Jefferson even served mac and cheese at a White House dinner in 1802. At the time, it was considered a high-class meal, often served with bechamel sauce for added richness. Hard to believe this humble dish was once reserved for the elite, isn't it? Culinary evolution. Mac and cheese didn't stay fancy for long. Over time, it became a staple for families across the US, thanks to its affordability and simplicity. In 1937, Kraft introduced boxed mac and cheese, making it even more accessible during the Great Depression. The powdered cheese and elbow pasta combo saved time and stretched budgets, cementing its place as a household favorite. Since those early box dinners, mac and cheese has taken on a life of its own. Chefs and home cooks alike have experimented, adding ingredients to elevate its flavor. You'll find recipes featuring everything from bacon to truffle oil. Some even use different cheeses, like Gruyere, Gouda, or sharp cheddar, to create unique blends. And of course, the addition of proteins like lobster, crab, or shredded chicken has turned it into a full-fledged meal. In recent years, mac and cheese has even re-entered fine dining. Restaurants have embraced it as a versatile canvas for gourmet ingredients. Lobster mac and cheese, for example, is the perfect blend of nostalgia and indulgence. It's fascinating to think that a dish with such humble beginnings could evolve into something so luxurious. Mac and cheese isn't just a food, it's a tradition that adapts to the tastes and needs of every generation. How do you like yours? With breadcrumbs and baked edges, or creamy right from the stovetop? The possibilities are endless. The fusion of lobster and mac and cheese. Lobster mac and cheese is the perfect marriage of two culinary worlds, comfort food and high-end dining. It's a dish that feels just as right at a backyard barbecue as it does on a white tablecloth. But what makes this combination so irresistible? It all comes down to the unique flavors and its growing cultural appeal. Flavor profiles. The richness of lobster pairs remarkably well with the creamy, cheesy base of mac and cheese. Lobster, with its buttery and slightly sweet flavor, brings a subtle luxury to what is otherwise a down-to-earth dish. Its tender texture contrasts beautifully with the creaminess of the cheese sauce, creating a perfect bite every time. Cheese adds depth and saltiness that complements lobster's natural sweetness. Cheddar, Gruyere, or even a touch of Parmesan are popular choices, each bringing a different layer of complexity. A sharp-aged cheddar adds tang, while a milder Gruyere offers nuttiness. The key is balance. Too much cheese, and the lobster gets lost. Too little, and the dish lacks its creamy backbone. The final touch? That golden, crispy layer on top. Whether it's breadcrumbs, panko, or even crushed crackers, the crunchy topping adds texture and a satisfying contrast to the soft, gooey center. Combined, these flavors and textures make lobster mac and cheese feel indulgent without being over the top. Cultural impact. Lobster mac and cheese has become more than just a novelty menu item, it's a staple in both restaurants and homes. In recent years, it's gained a reputation as the ultimate elevated comfort food. You'll find it on fine dining menus as a luxurious side dish or even a standalone entree. At the same time, home cooks have embraced it as a special occasion meal, thanks to its ability to impress without requiring advanced skills. Why is it so popular? For one, it's approachable. People recognize the familiar base of mac and cheese, so adding lobster feels exciting instead of intimidating. It's also versatile. You can stick with simple ingredients or dress it up with extras like truffle oil, fresh herbs, or artisanal cheeses. Social media has played a big role in its trendiness. Who doesn't love seeing images of oozing cheese pulls and perfectly browned breadcrumbs? Dishes that photograph well tend to gain traction quickly, and lobster mac and cheese is no exception. It satisfies both the stomach and the eyes. From upscale restaurants to potluck gatherings, this dish bridges the gap between everyday comfort and gourmet indulgence. It's a reminder that sometimes the best meals are those that combine the familiar with just a hint of extravagance. Ingredients for lobster mac and cheese. Crafting the perfect lobster mac and cheese starts with choosing the right ingredients. Each component plays a key role in the dish's indulgent flavor and texture. From the lobster to the cheese and pasta, picking high-quality items ensures every bite is a showstopper. Let's break down the essentials you'll need. Quality of lobster. The lobster is the star of the dish, so quality matters. Whenever possible, use fresh lobster. It has a sweeter, more delicate flavor compared to frozen or canned options. If fresh lobster isn't available, frozen lobster tails or claw meat are good alternatives, as long as you're sourcing them from a trusted supplier. Why fresh? The texture of fresh cooked lobster is firm yet tender, and it doesn't lose flavor from processing. If you're cooking whole lobsters, boil or steam them just until the shells turn bright red, then remove the meat to avoid overcooking. Need to save time? Many seafood markets sell pre-cooked lobster meat, which works well as long as it's fresh and not rubbery. Choice of pasta. Not all pastas are created equal, especially for mac and cheese. You want a shape that can hold onto that luscious cheese sauce and bits of lobster. The best options include elbow macaroni, the classic choice with a nostalgic feel. Its curved shape traps plenty of sauce. Cavatappi, twisted and tubular, this pasta adds a sophisticated look and a bit more texture. Shells, medium or large, perfect for nestling chunks of lobster and catching sauce in every bite. Orecchiette, if you want something unique, this little air pasta is great for scooping sauce and lobster. Cook your pasta al dente. It will continue to soften when baked and stay firm enough to hold everything together. That's it for part 1. I hope you're excited to see the next steps. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll finish up this tasty treat. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share and subscribe.